But hopefully, today I'll take 30 minutes to introduce you something like you may already familiar with, but we make a little bit extreme, easy to use. Hopefully, you can take away some useful information with this sharing. Today's session is Scale Your Web3 Apps. In 5 minutes, we StarkEx. So I'm Neil, I'm the founder and CEO of Reddio. Has been in Singapore for the past 16 years. I actually just landed this morning from Singapore after 14 hours flight. Hopefully this workshop really works well for you guys. And these past 8 years, I have been really working on the developer market for Web2, where I start up the Twilio Asia Pacific business at 30 employees, grew from like 3 people to 1,000 people in Asia Pacific for Twilio. And later on, move on to PingCAP, which is the most used distributed database for now from China. Help them grow the international market. So end of 2022, I have a lot of customers coming to me asking me, like, Neil, we are start to think about how to do Web3 apps. And with all these questions, I start to really trying to understand this market, what's happening, right? Why it takes so much effort and so many energies for them to really make a decentralized apps, even for the assets trading, right? We are not talking about like a fully decentralized service like storage or computation. It's just the assets itself. Even the asset itself will just take so many effort, including high gas fee, it's not scalable, and due to all these issues, right, people have to choose different chains. Right? And in the past, when I start to learn more about Web3, the platform become an issue, like multiple platforms, right? How can you allow the assets working for multiple platforms? Not mentioning the compliance and security, right? But look into the market, right? Even last year was turbulent, but Ethereum is still dominant. I think you guys have no doubt about this. That's why you guys are here, talking a lot about Layer 2 and zkRollups. And also the NFT tradings are the top for the Ethereum network. There's a big issue for Ethereum network, right? The low scalability, that's where all the Ethereum has been working on for merging of the 2.0 and also the data sharding. But even with that, right, in the past, for this centralized exchange, in order to make it work, like tens of millions of people are accessing the centralized exchange at the same time, we just cannot handle, right? That's why they have this architecture to just, transfer the money into their own wallet, to custody wallet, and they manage it for you. You just hope there's no one steal the money from there. But things crashes last year, right? I hope you already realize this won't be working, right? So that's where we dive in deeper and find out whether there's a solution can scale Ethereum and can really work today. I'm not talking about a few months later where other zkRollups has been mature. I'm talking about end of 2021, right? So that's where we find this technology, StarkEx, and start to really work on some of the prototype. And we became one of the 6 providers of StarkEx as a service. But all the others, I would say, are focusing on different domains. We are focusing more on general Web3 apps, including games and even enterprises. So how it works, right? Just as usual, we patch all the transactions into one batch. By using StarkEx, we generated a proof from a shared prover. And then because there's a smart contract has been deployed on layer 1. That's the main purpose for that smart contract is to verify the proof is verified. That's where after this proof has been verified for the bunch of transactions, normally we batch about 5,000 transactions into one batch. Then we are able to mint NFTs doing all the ERC20 logic back and forth, or mainly on layer 2, right? So that's how the StarkEx has been working for us. And by doing that, right, we have customer launching the NFT minting and trading on layer 2 with us. Absolutely, there are a lot of time customer want to actually trading or doing the launch of the NFTs on layer 1. But when it comes to applications and games where frequent usage has been there, that's where they start to use Reddio's API to move the assets from layer 1 to layer 2, right? So that's how the StarkEx has been working by leveraging their capability to offer this service to our developers, right? So as for how scalable it is, right, the year of 2022, even though a lot of things happening, but this event may be missed by some of you guys, where in April, on single day for April, StarkEx has been handling like 4 million plus transactions on that single day. I think it's the most transaction ever happened for blockchain. Right? So this is our stack. Currently, we offer StarkEx and Ethereum. On top of that, we offer NFT APIs and ERC20 APIs, and also order book, because a lot of time people are using NFT for trading, and also ERC20 for swap. Then we also, because customers really asking a lot about how can you index all the information, so that's where we actually work with our community to offer our own block scan. And then we make even easier to use, where we have all the JavaScript SDKs and Unity SDK. This is the first in the industry we offer this SDK to the market, so that no matter it's DeFi apps or NFT marketplaces, wallet, or even the GameFi, you guys can use our SDK to integrate, right? The topic, come back to the topic, scaling the Web3 apps in 5 minutes is, I'm talking about the single task, right? Where you want to mint an NFT, you want to swap a token. We have all the APIs and SDKs for you guys to do the swap. So that's our architecture, right? So to give you a little bit tease how it works, I have a little bit live demo here. As you can see, this is the dashboard once you log in. And we actually, in order to show you how the whole thing works, we have a demo apps. This demo apps is actually fully open sourced. So in case you want to build your own in-game NFT marketplaces, you can take the open source code from our GitHub repository and integrate into your own applications and games, right? But this demo is just to show you how you can mint the NFT from our dashboard. So because in order to mint the NFT on layer 2, you basically have to launch a ERC 721M on the layer 2 on the layer 1. That's where we actually have one for you, just define here for you guys, just to show you how it works. And in order to show you, because the NFT always have the base URL, right? So that's where we prepare some NFTs, and the token URL, base URL is set up here. So all this smart contract deployment is done by our API. You don't need to understand anything about smart contract. With all this deployment, right, you should be able to get a smart contract address where we need to bind this smart contract address with our dashboard. Hopefully it's coming up, okay. So once we have this smart contract address, we just need to add here. Make sure you choose the right smart contract tab and the contract address. Repeat again for the base URL. We just want to make sure you are doing the double check of the base URL. So now it should be working. So with all these, right, you can mint an NFT, for example, you want to mint 15 NFTs from the dashboard. And now with these, right, you should be able to see the NFTs from your account. Let's refresh it. Hopefully it's coming up. Yeah. So as you can see, the NFT has been minted on layer 2 by using all these 3 steps, right? This is what I'm talking about, how do you scale. Why I see that, right? Because when you mint an NFT on layer 2, you really enjoy all the benefit from the StarkEx on the scalability and performance from the layer 2. With all this NFT minted on layer 2, you are able to access all the assets, not only for NFT, but also ERC20 from layer 2 directly, so that you don't need to really rely too much on the layer 1. Okay, today's demo is not that bad. It's at least working. Yeah, so we have customer actually take this, right? Because we will never know what customer will do with our API, SDK, and NFT marketplace. It's blew our mind, right? We have this gaming customer, they take our NFT marketplace and build in the NFT marketplace with our gadgets, the open source one. As you can see, it's a fully built-in games. And you can do all the tradings decentralized with ERC20, NFTs, and all those, right? With all this, right, it's an instant trading confirmations. It's instant tradings. We even have customer doing some very different thing, right? For example, they want to use the credit card to trade NFTs. We also have that function for them. We are just collecting more feedback from the customer and convert them into API SDKs. That's how we actually make it work. Yeah, so the other thing is like the layer 2 is a little bit early stage still, even though there are so many discussions. But we are working hard to bring this into next stage. That's where we are working with more NFT marketplaces, hopefully not only customer able to build their own in-app, in-game NFT marketplaces, but they also able to launch their NFTs into different NFT marketplaces. For OpenSea, unfortunately, they are still moving a little bit slowly, where you have to come back to layer 1 to do NFT launching and move to layer 2 with our APIs. We are not only working with StarkWare, we are working with multiple layer 2 providers to provide the full smooth experience for our developers so that one API and one SDKs can offer you all the capabilities in one order book so that you can trade and mint and doing all the logic with the ERC20 and NFTs in the different layers and in the different transactions. So this is Reddio. We have been building this one for the past 1+ years. And current product is mainly on StarkEx. With StarkEx, we are able to scale the NFTs on the tradings and transactions on the 9,000 transactions per second. It's very reliable, for sure. We never see a downtime, at least for now. We have status.reddio.com monitoring all the availabilities of the service. And it's 0 gas fee. We don't charge any gas fee forever. And as you can see, right, there's no smart contract needed at all. If you dive into the documentations, we even have IPFS all there as API and SDK. You don't need to learn anything about Carol, don't need to learn anything about even solidity, right? It all just work. So that's us. I'm very fortunate to have my team with me. So this team has been the team building the top leading TiDB distributed database in the past. Hopefully we are able to build something useful for you guys in the Web3 space. We are invested by Paradigm and the largest LP Arena. So I believe with you guys working with us, right, we definitely want to grow the ecosystems and also work together to build a better future of Web3. Come back to a little bit on the facts for now, right? There's trilemma for now, based on my opinion, is very different to the Ethereum trilemma at the layer 2 for now, if you want to combine the performance and composability, there's choice for you, like sidechain. If you want to have composability and decentralizations, there's like optimistic wraps, but definitely there are issues. The main issues are the withdrawal time, right? But if you want to work on the performance and decentralizations, that's where the Web3 apps coming to the mainstream and also the games coming to the mainstream need the most. We believe zkRollups and also StarkEx for now is the best choice in the market. With all this work, right, these are the typical architecture of decentralized exchange. And we hope to bring this exchange architecture into more apps, applications and games so that you can build a trusted self-custody NFT and ERC20 logic into your own apps so that your customer won't be worried too much about the assets. We are not stopping from there at all. We are discussing internally how we can build that with the whole same methodology to bring the same developer experience to StarkNet, zkSync, and Scroll, so that you don't need to learn anything about smart contract, but you are able to launch your own Web3 apps. That's our future roadmap, and it's actually coming up. So with that, we are going to end up in today's presentation. Hopefully you learned something a little bit about Reddio and how we leverage StarkEx to scale the Web3 apps. And I can't really wait to see how you build with our APIs and SDKs. Log on to reddio.com, try our API. Thank you so much. Any questions? I know it's lunch hour. Yeah. Sorry? StarkNet, not yet. We actually, the thing I didn't show you, the index, right? If you're talking about index, not yet. We actually just built our own, Reddio scan. These are all the information about the Reddio apps and games. We are definitely thinking about whether we should build a StarkNet index or not, but before that, right, we need to figure out what's our positioning in StarkNet ecosystem. I know a lot of potential partner and also our competitor here. Won't say too much about that. Thank you for the question. Yeah, please.
Where's the profit from if you are not paying gas and
Yeah.
sign up for free, then how are you operating?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Because I coming from Web2 space, the developer won't trust you if they don't try your APIs, right? So the pricing model is just come from after the integrate the APIs and doing all their own operations and to realize the whole business model works. That's where they see more NFT tradings and ERC20 swap. And that's where we start to charge. And currently, it's 1% of the transaction fee. Yeah. But before that, nothing we will charge. I guess you have a lot of questions because today's session is a little bit short. I hope I can cover most of the things. But thank you so much for staying a little bit late before your lunch time. Thank you so much.